Hurricane Sandy crashing on shore, winds now at 90 miles per hour, and this storm is so big, so vast, 60 million Americans will feel its power. Tonight, our extreme weather team is all over the storm zone, ready to report. So let's go straight to ABC's meteorologist Ginger Z, who is right in the bullseye as the storm is hitting the shore now in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Ginger.
We're essentially inside the storm, Diane. It is just to our south, and we're easily getting into some of the worst gusts, 60 to even 74 miles per hour, that threshold of hurricane force, one of the worst storms that has ever hit Atlantic City. This city is basically underwater. Water from the ocean, water from the bays, it is everywhere. This is the storm that we forecasted, and then some. It is chaos along the Jersey shore. The superstorm battering the barrier islands. In the crosshairs, Atlantic City. The road into this seafront town is completely submerged. Damage started early, massive chunks of boardwalk littering the streets. Street after avenue after cul-de-sac, inundated. So we just picked one, Blaine Street, and started knocking on doors.
Made arrangements with our upstairs neighbors in case the water starts coming up into our house to go ahead and go upstairs. And we've got our kids. We're just going to snuggle in a ball and hope for the best.
Once the surge peaks, at high tide, waves at the shore could grow to 20 feet. Out at sea, up to 40 feet.
You gotta take a look at this. All the winds have picked up, and this is what happens. Debris like pieces of the boardwalk have come for 3 blocks. That's the ocean back there. Huge waves crashing up and over. Did you see that one? Pushing ocean water. The storm is on top of us right now.
And it's only going to get worse during the next high tide. So this is taking shelter, what you're seeing right now. That's what we're doing, if you can believe it or not, one of the safest and driest places. This will be a historic storm for so many, but the storm surge is still 90 minutes away from high tide here. We'll have many more pictures throughout the broadcast, of course, but for now we'll head back to Diane. Okay, thank you, Ginger, and we'll be checking in with you throughout this 1-hour broadcast. And now this is the view from above, the superstorm already stretching across 1/3 of this country from Florida to Canada. 1,000 miles long, delivering the kind of rain seen once every century. The flooding waters rising for hours to come, as Ginger said, and ABC's weather editor Sam Champion is reporting now from Lower Manhattan, also about to be hit. Sam?
Yes, and Diane, I'm standing in water. New York Harbor is actually over the edge here, and we're standing in it. This is, by the way, driftwood that just washed up. Now, you know, before I came to ABC News, I covered New York weather for 25 years. I have never seen water in Lower Manhattan. There is water now on the streets in Lower Manhattan. Let's show you where this storm, by the way, is going to make its move once it's now on shore. But follow this, and it's very difficult to see where the center of the storm is, but it's practically right on that Jersey shoreline. But then this storm continues to be a problem even once it's on shore, kind of stepping into that Pennsylvania border by the time we get to Tuesday. Then spends Tuesday, almost all day Tuesday, in Pennsylvania. Then Wednesday, almost all day Wednesday into Thursday in western New York State. Each one of those areas will have tropical storm force wind gusts and still some heavy rain and flooding to be delivered with this storm. And it was an amazing little surprise that Sandy had in store for us when at the very last minute, almost like sprinting for the finish line, Sandy made a motion straight for the Jersey shoreline, almost doubling its speed. The East Coast is being pummeled with the power of a record-breaking superstorm.
Oh my God, it's washing everything away!
90-mile-per-hour winds, driving rain, record-breaking high tides, and rough surf lashed the coastline as the storm made landfall in southern New Jersey. The mid-Atlantic and southern New England shores hit hard by flooding. Water lapping at the doors and sea foam piled up high on the boardwalk in Seaside Heights. In New York City, a construction crane buckled, dangling in high winds, and raising the concern of other construction sites. The governor closed bridges, tunnels, and doubled the number of National Guard troops deployed. North Carolina has been pounded by Sandy for over 50 hours. Roads have been washed away, and this house in Rodanthe swept into pieces. Throughout the day, Sandy was breaking records and had one big surprise, doubling its speed and barreling toward the shore faster than anyone expected. Up and down the East Coast, residents were warned to stay home and take mandatory evacuation orders for low-lying areas seriously.
This is not a time to be stupid. This is a time to try to save yourself and your family.
Public transportation for over 12 million people was shut down in New York, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. And concerns don't ease after Sandy's landfall. More than 1 million people in 11 states are already without power, and as many as 10 million may lose electricity as the storm pushes inland. This is a record surge of water, Diane, that we're witnessing right now. If you could see on the other side of New York Harbor, one of the superlatives is the largest storm surge ever in Sandy Hook, New Jersey, right over there at just about 8 feet. And now this water is rushing over the edge of lower Manhattan. And if you think this storm was just a New Jersey coast wind maker, yes, those winds were about 90 miles per hour on the shore there, but we also had an 86 mile per hour wind gust as far north as the Rhode Island coast. Diane?
Okay, Sam, we'll be checking back in with you as well. And now we go to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. As you heard Sam say, an estimated 10 million people are at risk of losing power. And we asked ABC's David Curley to tell us what's happening there and how fast. David.
Good evening, Diane. You can take a look at some of these waves back here. It is an angry, angry ocean that is coming, and it was going to be up on this boardwalk here in Rehoboth Beach. But I want to tell you about the one thing that we've been keeping an eye on, and it's this lamppost right here. And these lights are still on, still electricity. There are about $1.25 million people without power already. We'll have more about what's going to happen to them in the coming hours, Diane.
Okay, David, good to check in with you. We also want to go to Long Beach, New York, because Long Beach built a wall of sand as a defense against the ocean, and ABC's Ron Claiborne is there to tell us if it's holding tonight. Ron.
Well, good evening, Diane. That wall of the sand berm that they built all along this shore here, it held out for quite a while, but if you look over my shoulder here, it is all now but obliterated. The pounding surf and the rising tide just took it out. The erosion, the wind, it is gone, and now water is flowing from the beach here into the city of 35,000, this suburb of New York City. They're expecting a storm surge of somewhere between 4 and 8 feet. It is possible this entire low-lying barrier island will be overflowed with water in the next 12 hours or so.